Hello YouTube. For this video, we will be doing an easy early war night attack on a convoy and Wolfpack. In this video, I'll be going over the tactics I use to take on a two-ship convoy with no escorts. I'm not the most experienced with this game, so please feel free to leave some constructive criticism and suggestions in the comments. Anyway, let's get on to the video. Hello. I'm going to be demonstrating my method for attacking a small convoy. As you can see, there are there's one passenger ship and there's a freighter there. It just looks like the two of them. So I'm going to be going over how I go through an attack in a convoy this size. So first things first, we're going to want to identify what we're looking at. So this is obviously a passenger ship. So we'll go to recognition manual, passenger ship, and then I can see three funnels, and it looks like there's a radio tower on the front, so it's definitely this one. The next one, kind of harder to see. Let me get on the Uzio, swing this around. Okay, it looks like we have an aft engine, split superstructure. Looks like we have mast, king post funnel. I can't really tell. It looks like it's just fort and mid. That doesn't appear to be a thing. It could just be. Let me just go with unspecified for now. Okay, so the superstructure is definitely in between the king's post and the mast. So that's eliminated from the equation. And there's definitely a mid bump right there, so it has to be this one. Yeah, that looks correct to me, so we'll add it to our list. So this is what appears to be 2.5-ish, maybe 2.3. 36 divided by 2.1 is times 4, 68.5 hectometers at a bearing of roughly 260. So let's add that 260, 68.5. Yeah, that's good enough. Okay, let's mark that position. Let's time it for about 3 minutes and 15 seconds. And that should give us a rough estimate on their current speed. Now, while we're doing that, I'm also going to do this one. It looks like the mass is about, I'd say 2.5. Let's look at the right height, 41 meters divided by 2.5 times 4 is 65.6 hectometers at a bearing of about, we'll say 265. Yeah, that's about it. So we'll mark that position and start another stopwatch. So we're about 1 minute until we have to get the new bearing for the passenger liner. So I'll go ahead and hop on and start getting that ready. It looks like it's around the same, like 2.1, maybe even 2.2. Currently sitting at 261. So yeah, I'm gonna go under the same range and we'll use a bearing of 261 this time. So let's go ahead and get that down. 261, and then what do we say? 68.5. 68.5, boom. Mark that. Oh, we can stop this now. Get that away. So a rough speed estimate is 13-ish knots. I'd say more 10 because it wasn't exact. We didn't get an exact time. It wasn't exactly 3 minutes 15, so there's going to be some variation on that. But this seems to be the same, about 2.5. This time it's at 267. So we'll go ahead and wait. All right, 267 it is. We can stop that now. So 267 at 6.5.6. Right there. According to this, the course is going to be around 098. So let's plot that out. 098. Draw the course line out. Farther. Just so I can get an idea of what range we're looking at. Okay, so that's actually a pretty good range. So let's adjust our course to around. We'll make our course 096. I don't want to accidentally close in too much. If we do end up getting too close, then we'll go into the under the torpedo limit, and I don't want to get all tangled up because we're sitting at a good position right now. We're at a good range to fire. I want to check the draw of these ships. So that's 7. So they're both 7. So we're gonna want to set our torpedo depth to about 6. That way we get the maximum firepower when the torpedo hits. If we hit it too close to the water line, then it won't do as much damage and it'll take a lot longer to sink. I've actually had times where the ship, I attacked an entire convoy and I hit like 3 ships, but none of them sank because I forgot to set the drought down deeper, and that was not fun. So they are starting to drift a bit farther astern than I would like, so I am going to slow down just to let them catch up. In the meantime, it's been a while since we got an updated bearing on the passenger ship, so I want to do that just to make sure it's staying on our predicted course. So it's definitely gotten farther away. Now it's at like 1.8, 1.9-ish. So let's stuff that into the calculator. Okay, so 1.8 times 4, that gives us 80 hectometers at a bearing of 265. All right. So it is actually staying on the course that we prescribed. Only like not even a 20-meter difference, which is not really a lot in the grand scheme of things. So it's staying on its prescribed course. So I think course is pretty much set in stone. So since we know their course, we're gonna want to plan an intercept. So, pardon me. So looking at its course, we want a 90-degree angle to it. So let's see. 097 minus 90 is about there. So that's about a 90-degree angle, and that'll give us a heading of 187. Yeah, 187, about there. So when we're ready to go in, we'll just turn on our course to 187. And then that should be good. So I think we're ready. We have drastically moved ahead of them to the point where I can barely even pick them up with my naked eye. So we really need to slow down and let them catch up. I think at this point I'm gonna, yeah, at this point I'm gonna turn, what did I say, 187. Turn the course 187. That'll give us our intercept course. We want to stay outside this circle here, because that circle is the minimum range at which you can fire a torpedo. So we want to avoid that at all cost. So once we're lined up our course, I'll go ahead and stomp the engines. And it looks like we are basically at our course, so I'm going to go ahead and stomp engines. It looks like we are getting a little bit there. I may have to reverse because I may have to compensate a few degrees of difference if I did screw up these calculations here. Because if that is the case, then the ship could end up going like, it could end up going on this course, which would put me in the minimum range. So I'm gonna go ahead and start reversing. We'll just go ahead and reverse a few hundred yards. Okay, I went ahead and put the gears in stop. So we're currently drifting at about 800 meters out, so we have plenty of room to compensate in case there was a few degree difference in our calculations. Obviously, we still need to determine the angle on bow. I mean, while we have the course set, I'm gonna have to double check it. Let me actually get that ready. So if we're looking at 0 degrees, right? So, and then we switch it to AP. So the AP is at 0 degrees, right? And according to the way we're set up, if we're looking at 0 degrees, sorry, let me get this one. If we're looking at 0 degrees, then the angle right here is going to be 90 degrees. So that means we're going to have to set this to bow left 90 degrees. There we go. Perfect to 0. So now our AP is set. And of course, as they get closer, we can adjust it a bit more, just to make it more accurate. So just by judging, that looks about right, I'd say. And that also looks about right. So I think the angle on bow is set for now. Once they get closer, we'll definitely have to adjust it. Range. Currently, we're sitting. Let me get a better approximation here. Currently, we're sitting about 900 meters out. So I'm gonna go ahead and set that. And since we're firing at a 90-degree angle, I do plan on shooting at a gyro angle. So that means the range shouldn't really matter. And even if we do, it's not gonna affect much since the passenger liner is still in range. So yeah, this is pretty much a fast 90 attack. So yeah, that's how we're gonna do this. So now the waiting game starts. We just wait for the ships to get get a bit closer. We'll dive, and we'll get an accurate speed bearing. Okay, so as we are getting a bit closer to the point where the ships do get in a dangerous range to us, I am going to go ahead and submerge the boat to periscope depth. Just to be safe, I do not want to be caught with my pants down. looking at these ships, and I'm not using the engines, so it's not like I'll be using the battery. Oh, I did not want to fall down. Anyway, let's go ahead and give the diving officer the order. Submerged periscope depth, having to 12 meters. I'll go ahead and give this a watch. Okay, so we are submerged currently at about periscope depth. The bots automatically set it to dead slow ahead, but I want to go ahead and stop just because I want to stay out of that range that can get us in trouble. Also, I want to close these vents. I'm not sure why the bot hasn't done it, but regardless, you should close the vents once you're trimmed, which we appear to be. So I'm gonna go ahead and have a listen just for the heck of it. You can hear our two ships. There. They kind of merge together, but that's okay. We know where they are. Let me pop up the observation scope, give that a quick look. Yeah, we're looking out there. So yeah, the passenger liner is definitely getting closer. Same with the freighter. I'm gonna start doing our time calculations now since it is beginning to that point. That's the last bit of data that we need. So we're gonna go ahead and do that now. For it to, and then boom. Okay, so 38.98 seconds. So let's plug that into the calculator. I'm gonna just put that in. So 1.9. So this is going 7.3 knots. Alright, sounds good. I'm gonna go under the assumption that we're cruising at about 7 knots. I think that's a solid position because if you look at if we do set it to 7, say there's like a 1 degree difference between the two. So if we compensate for that while shooting our angle on bow, we should be fine. So I'm gonna go ahead and set it at 7. Um, and if it does end up being 6, it's like half a degree difference. So our gyro angle should be fine. Speaking of gyro, let's go ahead and get that lined up. Let's see, it's gonna be about. I really wish that they included the gyro angle in this menu here, because that would make it a lot more helpful instead of having to pop in and out to look at the gyro angle. Okay, that's pretty much the ticket. So, oh, I just messed it up. Okay, so about here, this is gonna be good enough. So we are slowly approaching here. So before we get off, let's just double check all our information. So it's torpedo depth 6 meters. That should be fine. Length doesn't really matter here since we're not firing the salvo. Angle and bow is good. Okay, it all looks pretty good. Torpedoes are ready. It should only take 1 torpedo per ship, but since there's only 2 ships here, I'm gonna go ahead and fire all of my torpedoes. So I'll fire two at the passenger, 2 at the freighter. So that guarantees a sink, really. All right, our passenger liner is getting in the view of our periscope. the gyro angle point. Now I'm debating whether I should fire, wait for the, no, I'm just gonna fire here. Fire under the funnel. One. Number two. Boom. Alright, those are away. Let's quickly wait for the, I'm actually gonna preemptively fire one just because I don't want the ship to start changing course before it reaches the gyro angle. Number four. Fire now. The first one's gonna hit. Those are gonna hit about. Should hit soon. Like, yeah, a few seconds. There's a hit there. Should get hits on the passenger liner soon. Doesn't appear so. Oh, there we go. Hit on the passenger. So it looks like our first torpedo on the passenger, it might have missed. Um, yeah, that one's definitely going down. Uh, I can put these away now. So, so it looks like one torpedo missed with the passenger liner. And that's why we fired two essentially, because you never know. One can miss, but luckily it does look like it's going down. Regardless. So that appears to be a win for us on this level. There we go, mission completed. We can launch this ship, slowly sink to the bottom. The mast is still sticking up on that one. Well, there you have it. Our ship's sunk. Yep, as you can see, 4 torpedoes fired, 3 hits, 2 merchants destroyed, 242, or sorry, 23,049 tons, about an hour of gameplay. So yeah. Thank you all for watching. If you want to see more, please subscribe and leave a comment down below.